Good evening, everyone. Every day it seems like there's a headline about a new technology that promises to change our lives. It can be hard to make sense of all this as an adult, and as I've learned from my research, it's even harder for kids. That's why I'm here to pitch a learning lever, a cyborg makerspace for embodied digital literacies. A Detroit high schooler shared this quote with me in January. Speaking about smartphones, Mara said, "These are powerful tools, but we barely know what they can do." This quote is emblematic of the situation in which many of our nation's youth find themselves. Access to digital tools has increased since the iPhone dropped in 2007, but these technologies, both hardware and soft, are not designed for children's use. And where they are, they're designed for kids to be prosumers under the Web 2.0 model, merely clicks to be collected. They're hooked to interfaces intended to colonize their attention. Responding to this, school policies often imagine digital technologies as a distraction or an interruption to the real learning that should be going on. Where schools do keep tech in students' hands, they're often limited to whatever trendy new app a district has paid for. This, of course, is a data privacy nightmare and a revolving door that fatigues teachers and students alike. This is a practice that hardly solves the central problem. It seems to me that kids need spaces where they can safely develop fluency and agency with digital technologies. I know some of these things intuitively. It wasn't so long ago that I was a teen coming of age on social media sites and the internet more broadly, so I recognized the potential of the digital at a personal level. More recently, I taught high school English. There, the notion of digital literacies took on real urgency with ramifications for my students both online and off. Inspired by these brilliant kids, I came to the University of Michigan to work on a PhD. Here, I've learned more about the relationship between the digital and the real, and I've taken opportunities to design learning experiences that free students to explore the mundane, everyday ways that our bodies, lives, and livelihoods are tied up with digital technologies. In short, scholar Donna Haraway was right. We're cyborgs. I've come to believe that educators ought to work towards the development of what I'm calling cyborg literacies, agentic, sense-making, self-making, joy-making, and world-making practices that kids are already doing as they engage with digital tools and technologies. With a cyborg orientation toward technology, students can consider the relationship between the digital and material worlds that they inhabit. They can reflect on the purposes and uses of technology and, hopefully, begin to speculate on how they can create new ways to engage with technology in the future. This brings me to my proposed lever, an after-school cyborg makerspace where kids can develop agencies for changing themselves and changing the world, on and offline. As opposed to in-school programs with restricted policies or out-of-school programs with limited structure, this lever takes up the long tradition of third space research, where students are free to bring non-traditional and home expertise to bear in the space, but the resources and aspirational aspects of school are still present. Within our makerspace, we aim to supply students with access to emerging technologies like 360 cameras, extended augmented and virtual reality technology, 3D printers, VR headsets, GPS technology, etc. And we give them the latitude and support to pursue questions and dilemmas that are important to them. In this way, we aim to prepare students to inherit the datafied and too often oppressive world that we are leaving for them. While some curriculum will be provided, the lever is designed for students to choose their own adventure. They might take up questions like, how can digital tools be used for expression? How can tech be used for good or bad? How can I use tech to act? For what purposes is tech designed and for whom? And what is the relationship between my online and offline selves? The goals of the program are as follows: to develop agentic orientations toward technology, to identify means to use technology to address issues or problems in the student school or communities, to empower students to think outside of the App Store, and to design a long-standing makerspace in their school's after-school programming ecology that can be a model for other schools to follow in the district and state. With all that said, I'd like to say a bit about how and why I came to this particular lever. I chose this lever after months spent embedded at a high school in Detroit, which I'm calling the Lindendale School. I had a chance to socialize this makerspace idea with leadership and other stakeholders, and what I learned has directly influenced the design of this pilot program. Through informal interviews with stakeholders, it's clear that there's a need and an appetite for this lever at the school. And should the pilot prove productive, there are opportunities to scale the program to other schools. Though this will be my first opportunity to put them in practice, I've been thinking about these ideas for a long time. Three bodies of research undergird this lever's design. Third, in makerspace literature emphasizes the potential of spaces like this one for youth to grow and learn, particularly to develop STEM skills and identity. A body of research, of interdisciplinary research, suggests that our online and offline worlds are imbricated or overlapping and mutually constitutive. Finally, critical digital literacies research offers a handhold for practices of, quote, reading the word and reading the world. Together, they give us cyborg literacies. Based on conversations with the stakeholders at the Lindendale School, I've plotted a timeline for implementing this lever that prioritizes iteration and keeps the students' desires for the makerspace at its core. These design principles, coupled with a built-in showcase for the broader school community, will help us to continuously improve the labor. Throughout this process, I aim to develop curricula and protocols that can be easily exported to other schools in the district in the years to come. Throughout, I'm looking for opportunities to partner with Detroit-based learning experiences, particularly in extended reality contexts. I'm asking for $9,400 to support this labor. The costs come from two main areas. The greatest need is acquiring the emergent technology with which students will engage. While some basic tools are present at the site, for instance, the robotics coach has committed to letting us use their 3D printers, we still have significant needs. The second main cost is for feeding healthy dinner to the students, who will be on the school campus until 6 or 7 p.m., 4 days a week. A final chunk of money would ethically compensate teachers or other folks who give their time and expertise to support the lever's execution. Supporting this lever is an investment in hands-on, life-changing educational enrichment for students. It's an investment in students themselves, a bet on their untapped potential. Our kids are inheriting a world lousy with crises, and we have the responsibility to prepare them to live in it. Mara taught me that if we're lucky and diligent, maybe we can help them save it. This lever is a great opportunity to jumpstart that work. I return to this quote because of its salience for our purpose here today. Mara is 16 and already values the agency that digital technologies afford her. So many of her peers have access to these tools, but haven't been invited to think critically with or through them. Untold futures lie dormant beneath these kids' prostheses because they, quote, barely know what they can do. Mara and I implore you to consider, what roads would they build if they did? I'm Parker, and it's been an honor sharing my vision with you.